Family, you're tuned in to Real Last Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. My name is Ken Miller in the big chair tonight. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. First of all, we're going to apologize for Tuesday night. We wasn't on Tuesday because of some old whack-ass soccer game.
There you go.
But thank
There you
y'all
go.
for listening last night. We was really on one last night, man. But tonight, man, we got a brand new show. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Got James John, got Jeff Kaufman from the Law Office of Kaufman and Lynn. But we got one of our big brothers in stand-up comedy. This young man will be at the Orlando Funny Bone this weekend, March 8th and 9th. You can get tickets at orlandofunnybone.com. The OG himself, Mr. Guy Torry, man. What's up, brother?
What's happening? What's happening?
Come on now.
He got kicked out your mama's university. What's going on?
Hey,
let's
guys,
start this off right, though, because you know I'm an edgy guy. Guy Torry's little brother, I see you put that on there, but you ain't my little brother. My mama's still alive.
You don't know, bro. God keep the ashes with me, son.
I know.
Look at
You want to lay next to her. Yo, as big as she was, and all three of us can lay next to her.
Yo. Hey, God
I done laid next to your mama already, man.
That's wow.
Hey, God mad at me because he was around doing slavery. He didn't. Let me find out God done slept with Harriet Tubman. Let me find out.
Hey, Harry got that good.
Oh, there you go.
You know them Wooga got the best. Harry wasn't a looker. He got them Wooga got that best. Ooh.
This the last show.
Hey,
This it.
Hey, man. Hey, this your first time on our show?
Yes, God's first
man.
time.
I ain't been on your punk ass show before, man.
It's
his first time. Yeah.
My first time, bro.
Well, we got to do our intro with you then, man. We got to know your origin story. How long have you been doing comedy? Where did you start and how was your first ever show?
Hell, we can tell God's origin story, man.
Yeah.
No, we asked everybody that, man. Everybody we had on Lavelle Crawford, everybody, man.
That's them. I'm me.
That's what
I gotta know, man. I gotta know the origin story.
I've been in the game for 31 years. People can go look at my Unsung and my Fat Tuesday documentary and get that origin story. Let's get into the good, man.
We ain't got cable.
You a lie.
Got internet.
First off, I saw that documentary, sir, and I wanted to give you your flowers while you on here, man. We've been listening to you for a long time. Ken's my boy, and he's been telling me he's been working with you for so long and how wonderful you are on the road. He's been talking about how funny you are, bro. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on this show. So I just want to give you flowers. No worries.
Who's the white dude?
That's Jeff Kaufman. He's a comedian as well, and he's a lawyer, man.
Yeah, I represent everybody on this show.
I know. You're working at Bonkers coming up, right?
Yeah.
On
Friday, I get the low rent stuff.
There you go.
Hey, man, a stage is a stage, bro.
Amen. Talk to him.
Stage is a stage, man. As long as you get that mic and at least two people in the audience, you are good, man. We are so blessed to do what we do in this comedy game, man. We're healers. So, God gave you that gift, man, for go out and heal the world, man. And I hate where the state of black comedy is right now, but you won't be concerned with that, Jeff.
But anyway, I mean, where do you think the state is right now? Because I think it's terrible. Because when you go to a place like Funny Bones, it's empty on some nights, but I tell you, a lot of black people show up to the comedy clubs.
I'm talking about the state of black comedy, state of the union.
Talk about
black
it. Like the brotherhood of comedy.
But the shit club Shay and all that stuff, the brotherhood of what we doing as black comedians, I'm not right with that. All my friends. I'm not throwing shade on anybody, but we need to get comedy back where it's supposed to be, and that's cheering people up, man. I mean, trust me, we all got dirt on people.
Amen.
What's the point of tearing people down? Is that just put people in the seats?
No. I mean, black people tearing each other down started from your people. Because
Jews? Okay.
They Jewish, bro.
I know you pissed off because I raised the rent, but that's about it, man.
No, crab in the barrel syndrome. We've been dealing with that as a community for a long time, because they treat the light-skinned blacks better than the black, dark-skinned
colorism
coming to each other. So, it's just continued. It's gotten better over the years, but we're going backwards, not forward. Stand up. So the state of black comedy right now is not in a good place, and it needs to get back on track. We need to get this train back on the right track.
What fixes it?
Unity. Coming together.
What fixes it? What's the solution to getting everybody back on the same page?
Man, everybody remembering what the craft is about. Remembering why God gave us all this gift to go out and make people laugh. It's to cheer people up. It's to do the opposite of what we're doing. So it's brotherhood, no matter what ethnicity or gender you are, or whatever pronoun you identify with. We're all in the same thing as comedy, and comedy is a great gift. Even though we're like the last job on the totem pole, I think we're the most important.
Amen.
I think we're the most talented because we don't have bands and we don't have backup singers and we don't have backup dancers. We go on stage with the gift that we got, the jokes we wrote, and we on there on stage without on a tightrope, 500 million stories up in the air with no safety net. So to me, it's the greatest genre of all the arts.
Yeah, I 100%
would agree.
For everybody listening, God Torry's on with us this weekend, the Orlando Funny Bone, March 8th and March 9th. You are one of the busiest men in Hollywood. In comedy, let me say in comedy,
Yeah.
do you still love the road?
Not actually. To be honest, I love the shows once I get there. It's the traveling that takes a toll. You got to remember, I've been in this game for 31 years. I do about 250 shows a year. I'm traveling about 250 to 3,000 miles, 100,000 miles a year. So, it gets a trip. But the other day, it's funny because I got to Dallas, Arlington Improv, where I just finished. And I walked in my hotel room. And, you got your bags, you're tired, your red-eye flights, all that stuff. And I was about to bitch. And then, my spirit spoke to me and was like, wait, what you bitching for? You blessed. Quit bitching about being blessed. Because we get to travel on somebody else's dime. We get to stay in hotel rooms on somebody else's dime. We get paid for what we got kicked out of class for, or put in detention for, or got put on funding for. We get paid to be professional assholes. So why am I bitching? So I had to post that, stop bitching when you blessed about being blessed. Because this is a gift. And I know I'm using bitch and blessed in the same sentence. Blessing.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna keep it 1,000, man.
Yeah.
Now,
and that's
what
why
do you
we
think
love
about
you.
these guys playing these huge arenas? I mean, for example, we had the place where the Magic plays. I've watched 3 comedians play there in the last 3 months. 18,000 people. They just sit and walk around in a circle talking to people. I mean, that seems to me like we're doing better, not worse.
Well, I mean the state of black comedy. I'm not talking about audience-wise. I'm talking about us as
a group,
as co-workers, as in the same fraternity and sorority, us interacting with each other. I'm not sure it's happening in the Jewish community or the white community, but in the black community, we're just not where I think we should be right now.
Do you think it's real? I mean, do you really think it's real?
Absolutely.
Rather than that more people are getting their attention, they're getting out there.
But at what cost? To be totally honest. And here's the thing. First of all, we all as comics, we're dark individuals on the inside. We do comedy because of that. We're trying to bring light to our dark situation. We're dark, fucked up, twisted individuals. And our comedy is our light. It's our mask. We're not who we really are. Well, we appear to be honest. And inside we're hurting. So that comedy, it makes that hurting feel a little bit better. We talk about our pain. We talk about our struggles. We talk about the negativity. We're dark, but we have control over it. So when we go out and attack other people like that, especially our comrades, and then you've lost control of a little bit of darkness on the inside. You what somebody else has, you think you should have. And that's where some of that energy comes from. And it's like, what's yours is yours. What's his is his. What's hers is hers. Do you and keep it moving. Period. Don't count on anybody else's money.
Right? We do enough of this. I mean, we do podcasts. I do radio shows all the time. And that doesn't happen by accident. You don't go off for 30 minutes by accident. No, that's something that's been bothering you.
Are you talking the situation of Cat Williams and Club?
Yeah.
Or what are you talking about? I'm gonna say that Cat's a good friend. Love Cat Williams. Cat Williams, I've said this for years, and he'll tell you, he's a genius. His IQ is 160. Do I agree with what he did? Absolutely not. But that's Cat. He chose to do that. And my whole thing is, Cat has a huge heart. I've seen him help so many people out. So why would somebody like that? Why would somebody like that do something like that? And calculate. Cat, has his tour coming out. Cat that he went on special, and it was very calculated. Everybody that he kind of had issues with or want to speak of are trending, right? So not that Cat needs to trend because he's Cat Williams. He's one of the legends of our game. But to add extra trending on top of him, an extra elevation, is to talk about those else who are kings. He talks about 2 kings of comedy. You know, Cedric and Steve Harvey, and then he talked about who was trending. Cedric was trending because his new TV show getting renewed, his Neighborhood, and he's doing a huge, eating line, barbecue line with Anthony Anderson. That's trending. Steve Harvey is always trending, but Steve Harvey also has a national syndicated radio show. So what do you think they talked about the next day on the Steve Harvey show? Then he had words about with Ricky Smiley, who also has a national syndicated radio show. What do you think they talked about the next day on the national syndicated radio show? Okay, those two shows have rival morning shows. So what do you think their rivals are talking about the next morning? So then he talked about Kanye. Kanye's always trending. Talk about Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's always trending. Talk about Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker name was on the Epstein list that released that same day. Okay, trending. You talk about Kevin Hart, always trending. Talk about Tiffany Haddish. At the time, she had the DUI they were talking about. Yeah, it's trending. Talked about Dave Chappelle in a good way, but Dave Chappelle's special came out. He was trending. Talked about Earthquake. Earthquake has a great podcast on the Kevin Hart's network. Mm-hmm. He's trending. Talked about D.L. Hughley, national syndicated radio show. You talk about it in a good way, but still trending. So if you look at what he did, it was genius. I'm just gonna say, with level of hate,
that's why I didn't know how real it was.
He talked about Fat Tuesdays. Yeah. He said it was a beautiful
documentary. Did. Yeah.
He said a beautiful documentary, but he said I told some lies in there, which was not the case. Cat just misspoke because I posted my receipts of what he said wasn't. I posted the results. So it was calculated, and I just hope we can come back from that and stop the Monique. She went on and did her spiel as well. Yeah, she had some issues that she had to get off her chest, on that platform as well. So I hope now that we got all our shit off our chest, let's come back together. Families fight, brothers and sisters fight. Me and my brother, we fight. So we got it out there. We aired it out. Let's all come back together and heal this goddamn world. Because we got an election coming up where the country's going to be divided again. And we're going to need us, comedians, coming together to heal this fucking nation. Because, the politicians ain't going to do it.
Guys, Guy Torry right now, he'll be at the Funny Bone this weekend, the 8th and 9th. Guy, we got about 90 seconds. We go to commercial break. He brought.
I talked a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And you gotta stop cussing. This is gonna be on live radio.
oh, really? Oh, my bad.
We love you, guys.
I marked the time. Don't worry about it, Guy. I got the times already. I already sent them to James. You're good.
Thank you.
Hey, Guy, we got a minute. We got a minute before. Real quick, we got a minute before we go to break. He talked about the big arena. You prefer the big arena or the small, intimate comedy club? 60 seconds.
I love them all. They all have their space. You have the arena, you have the comedy clubs, you have theaters, and then you have the arenas. When we come back on the other side of the break, I'll explain and break down all three.
Well, that's cool, man. Well, we gonna run the commercial early, and we'll take the next one longer, so we can get back and wash Guy mouth out with soap.
Hey, y'all didn't tell me, man.
Hey, we'll be right back. Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1. Man, we're back. Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1. Your nightcap of comedy. I'm Ken Miller in the big chair. If you listen to guys, do us a favor. Go out to Facebook, Instagram, and follow us. It's Real Laughs on Facebook, Real Laughs Radio on Instagram, and Real Laughs on YouTube. You want to see these beautiful ass faces? Go check us out. All of our shows up there. And if you missed us, you want to hear us in podcast format, go to iHeart, search Real Laughs. You got 7 years of our shows, man. We truly appreciate y'all. James John, Jeff Kaufman's with us, man. Miguel is out, I actually think, in Austin or Dallas right now. Well, we are joined in our virtual studio with Guy Torry, who will be at the Orlando Funny Bone this weekend, March 8th and 9th. Go to OrlandoFunnyBone.com to get your tickets. Before we went to the break, we were talking about the differences between theaters, clubs, and arenas. I have yet to do an arena. I love clubs. The biggest crowd I've done was, I think, like 14,000, and that was at Dr. Phillips. It was an outdoor show. And I wasn't fond of that, Guy. I kind of like that club feel.
Here's the difference. Outside comedy a lot of times doesn't work, and let me tell you why. The sound escapes. You have no ceiling. You have no roof, so the laughter will escape, and you feel like you're not doing well as a comedian because you don't feel that immediate laughter up front. So you think you're not laughing, so it affects you mentally, and you think you're bombing or you're not funny, and that's not true. The laughs are just escaping. They're not staying in the room, so you don't feel the energy. So it's definitely going to shift your energy and what you're used to. Now, when we talk about comedy clubs are the gym. And I want to educate people who are fans of comedy about that. That's the gym. That's where we work our jokes out. That's where we don't know if it's going to work or not. We're tweaking. You know, it's more intimate. It's a smaller venue, so the laughs are going to be immediate. The ceilings are usually lower, so you're going to get that immediate energy, which affects our energy as well. And the clubs are where it's the factory. That's where you see where the sausage is made. All the crap that goes on the floor, the crap that goes into it. That's the comedy club. It has this place and time. Now, when you move up to theaters, the theaters are a little bit bigger. You move into 1,000 seaters, 5,000 seaters, 7,000 seaters. The place is usually bigger, so the laughs are going to become a little bit slower because the sound's going to go up further than it is in the club and come back down a little bit slower. So you have to, as a comedian, as a performer, you have to slow your pace down a little bit. Your timing is going to be a little bit different because if you do it the same speed as you do it in a comedy club, you're going to step on your laughs. You're going to the laughs aren't coming. You think you're not doing well. They're laughing, but the laughs going to hit the stage later, hit you later, and you're on to the next joke, stepping in your laughs. So now they got to cut the laughs off and ready for the next one. So when you're doing the bigger the arena, the bigger the venue, the more spaced out timing you have to understand that, okay, the laughs are coming. Let me wait on it. Boom. Okay, boom, on to the next joke. Now when you go to arenas, and I've been blessed enough to do tours to be in arenas. I did the Kings of Comedy tour.
Yes, you did.
To the Kings of Comedy tour. We played big arenas. I did the Maxwell Jill Scott tour. We played big arenas, Madison Square Garden and the Staples Center and all those big arenas. So that laughter even comes even slower. So now you got to slow your timing down even more than you would in a theater. And it's so funny because when I was in clubs, I couldn't wait through theaters. Oh, I can't wait to do a theater. When I did theaters, couldn't wait to the arenas. Oh, arenas. And when I started doing arenas, they were fun. They were great. But it's like, man, I can't wait to get back to a club. I can't wait to get back to intimate, laughter. Immediate gratification right there in your face. And you can play a little bit, you do in a club than you would the arena. Because the thing about it is the theater shows, the arenas, and your comedy specials or your late night television appearances, that's the gym. I mean, that's the beach. The comedy club is the gym. Those shows and the theaters and the TV shows, that's the beach. That's when you take your shirt off and show your pecs, your six pack, what you've been working on in the club, what you've been working on in the gym. So it's going to be levels to this. And some in today's comedy, people expect, the comedy shows in the club to be perfect. No, that's our gym. You're not gonna get those perfect jokes. We're romancing the stone. It's that pottery, that sculpture that we're molding. That's what comedy clubs are. That's what open mics are. That's what little coffee shop comedy are. It's not the finished product. It's not as polished yet. But when you get to that theater, and you get to that big arena, and you get to your Tonight Show appearance or your Netflix special or Amazon special, whatever, that's when it's got to be polished. That's why you did all the drunken nights in the comedy club. That's when you dealt with hecklers.
Them bar shows.
You did all that. Now all that is gone, and you shake your clothes off and show all the beauty you've been working out for.
How long do you think a joke takes before you think it's ready for one of these theater or one of these specials?
Everybody's different. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody has a different method to their madness. It's like rappers. They have a different way of writing. Some write the lyrics down. But Jay-Z and Biggie, I heard, didn't have to write stuff down. It was in their head. Some comedians are like that. So it depends on what you do. But if you've done it enough times and you're getting a consistent laugh with it, but you also try it out in different audiences. If you got to get out of your comfort zone. You can't keep playing to your fan base. You want to go out and I always say this, and I do this. I set myself up to fail so I can win. I set myself up to fail so I can win. Early in my career, I'll go after a big name. I'll switch places in a comedy club and go after the big name. You can keep your pay, but I want to see if I got the balls to play this, to come behind somebody with a name. And when you live in LA and you go to the comedy clubs in LA, Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, Improv, most likely you're going to be going on stage after an A-list comedian because that's the way you fell up in the lineup. And they don't want to go on too late. They want to go on early, and you're your name is not as big as theirs. And that's when you see how big your huevos are. That's how you see how big your kahunas are. It's if you go up after this name, who's a star. So LA and New York, those places are like that. Because you got, at any given moment, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Chris Tucker, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, and, Joe Torry, they can come in and go on stage, Cedric, Steve Harvey, now you got to follow that.
Yeah.
So now you got to see, if you say, who you think you are, then you be able to follow that.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you a stronger comic. Iron sharpen iron.
There you go.
Everybody listen, March 8th and 9th, Guy Torry at the Orlando Funny Bone. Make sure you go out and get your tickets. Well, we're speaking on the Comedy Store. We got to talk about you being the creator of Fat Tuesdays. And we were talking about this before we brought you on. James had something he wanted to say to see if you agree with this notion.
I told you, man, how much I admire you. I got to meet you once. It was years ago. It was at the Orlando Funny Bone. They called it there now, man. You were nothing but great.
Formerly the Orlando Improv.
Improv, that's right. Me and Ken had this conversation many times before, talking about your contribution to comedy, in period. And we talk about Fat Tuesdays. I humbly believe that if there was no Fat Tuesdays, no Guy Torry, there would be no Def Jam comedy. There would be no shows like that on TV to come about if no one had seen what you had done first.
Well, I have to correct you. Respectfully disagree with that.
Okay. That's what he said you was going to say.
Yeah, because Def Comedy Jam came before Fat Tuesdays.
I didn't know that. Okay, I thought Fat Tuesday came first.
If you watch the documentary, it's sitting there, and you've seen it. You got to go back and watch it. Okay. I was inspired by Def Comedy Jam. I'm doing what I'm doing because of Def Comedy Jam.
Okay.
After God gave me the gift to do stand-up, and I found out that this is what I love to do, and I do it for free. I'll be dumb, but I do it for free.
Be broke.
Broke and dumb.
Yeah.
And bitter.
Yeah.
And so Def Jam was the key that started the engine for me.
Now, okay, I didn't realize that, guy. Thank you for correcting me.
Started in 92. I moved to LA in 92. I think Def Jam was 90, 91, 92, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But I was inspired by Def Jam. I knew who Eddie Murphy was. I knew who Richard Pryor was. I knew who Red Fox was. I knew who all those comedians were. I didn't put two and two together. That was actually stand-up comedy, and they were very funny. But when my brother, Joe Torry, my older brother, started doing stand-up and was on Showtime at the Apollo.
Okay.
That's when I was like, oh, okay. And then I started, doing stand-up. I did one stand-up gig in St. Louis before I moved to LA, and it was really wasn't a stand-up gig. It was actually just going on stage, acting a fool, doing a variety show.
Okay.
Right? But I had planned to move to LA. But it was Def Jam that really was the key that started the engine, I saw guys that I knew, my brother, and people that I had met when my brother used to bring shows back to his university in Jefferson City, Lincoln University. I saw these people on TV now, and I met these people. So it was that correlation and that spark that made me see I can do that. And there was one comedian in particular, and I won't say the name. I watched Def Jam, and I saw this comedian on there, and I was like, man, I'm funnier than that dude.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, man, if he can do this, I can do this. No disrespect to the comedian because he's a legend, and he's a funny guy now. But back then, he was on Def Jam. I wasn't doing comedy. I know I'm funnier than that guy. And then I moved to LA, and in 92, a few months later, I'm in a comedy competition against this same guy.
What?
I was doing comedy 6 months, and he had been doing comedy for a few years. He did Def Jam, and I beat him in the competition.
Okay. All right. So, I know you can't tell us. I know you can't tell us. I know you can't tell us.
Just because the guy is funny as hell still, But at that point, it's like, you see somebody, little, you think you can fight. Oh, I can take him.
Yeah.
I got him. I got him.
Clean him up,
playing
man.
Sports. When you're a receiver and you see the little D-back, defensive back, I can buy you. I got you. So that was funny about the stand-up thing was like this guy that inspired me to do comedy other than my brother and Martin Lawrence and those guys, this guy who I thought at the time wasn't, I was funnier than, I ended up beating him 6 months after I started doing stand-up.
But you know what, guy? That's a rarity because here in Orlando, every week I go to open mic on Thursdays. There's 100 new comics. And every last one of them started because they said, "Well, I was at open mic last week, and I know I'm funnier than that person."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so do you feel like people take our craft not as serious? Like everybody, I can do
absolutely.
this.
Absolutely, because we make it look easy, and that's a salute to us as comedians. We make it look easy. We make it look like, oh man, I can get on stage and do that, and then they get on stage and they booty hole tighten up. they learn very quickly, like, oh. Now some may do good their very first time, but they got to be consistent with that. And some of them get on stage at one time. It's beginner's luck sometimes. Get on stage the first time, you don't know any better. Being naive sometimes is wonderful. And they make people laugh for those 3 minutes and like their chest pumped out. Then the next time on stage, they get their ass handed to them.
I think some people, their friends tell them they're funny. And everyone thinks they're funny, but there's a difference between being funny with 3 of your buddies and being funny in front of a room full of people.
Strange.
It's a whole different game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I tell you, it's hard to make a group of strangers laugh, but it's also funny to see somebody in the audience like, I can do that, and then that next week they're open mic, and then once they get off stage, they're like, oh,
yeah,
I
see.
I see.
Oh, that wasn't as easy as I thought it was right there. That's kind of hard, man.
That's the beauty of it too, though. It's like, okay, yeah, okay. And I it's so funny because you meet people coming to your show. I'm funnier than that so and so, that mofo, and da. And you're like, you just smile. It's like you have no idea.
You have no idea. You have no idea, guys. You listen. We got Guy Torry, March 8th and 9th. Guy, we got 2 minutes before we go to break. Have you heard the book I Killed Road Stories by comedians?
No.
You got a crazy story?
By road stories?
A crazy, like something crazy that happened to you on the road.
On the road, he's saying.
Man, you mean when Trump supporters get mad?
Oh wow!
Or Mitt Romney supporters get mad and try to rush the stage because I'm speaking facts and speaking truth. I mean those road stories, or you want the groupie road stories?
Well, okay, so like DL tells a story about
you gotta sleep in the bed next to you because they didn't have too much to drink and you never got a chance to hit because they just threw up some S'mores Crunch, and now you're like, thank God I got that double bed.
Did you just say Orange Crush?
S'mores Crunch.
Are they
cereal? S'mores Crunch. You know how it look? It looked like oatmeal mixed with frosted flakes and
that's
blueberries, man. They throw up. So what kind of? I mean, I got tons of.
Yeah, well, Diaz did a story about how a lady came to his room with a hatchet. Earthquake tells a story about how he didn't get paid and they took everything out the club, went home with it. And you seen Top 5, right? Chris Rock Top 5.
Yeah.
I'm the man in Houston. That's a true story that really happened to him. So that type of road story was stuff like that. But we're gonna hold that because we gotta hit that commercial break, man. We gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back. Real Labs, Real Radio 104.1. Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. I'm Ken Miller in the big chair tonight. Remember to go out to follow us at Real Labs on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go out to YouTube, search Real Labs. You can see these beautiful ass faces. And if you missed us and you want to listen to us in podcast format, go out to iHeart, search Real Labs, and you got 7 years of our shows. And also remember, guys, we are looking for sponsors so we can keep this thing going. So you want us to promote your product, we'll do a sexy commercial for you. You know, Jay's got that baritone voice. And you can come on here as well and promote your product, man, and we can help you sell and make some money.
You should go after Just for Men sponsors. You can quit looking like Bill Russell.
I have a haircut this weekend, man. Got Jeff Kaufman, Jay John, and the legend himself, Mr. Guy Torry. And we were talking about crazy road stories.
Goat. You gotta say goat when you say me.
The goat, you gotta say goat.
That's a goat because I'm a Capricorn.
There you go.
I thought Aries was a goat.
Aries is the goat.
But no, Aries is a ram.
Oh, yeah.
Capricorn is the goat. So I'm a goat. Right. I'm a goat by default.
Well,
when's your birthday, Guy, by the way?
January 12th.
My wife's birthday, January 18th. I knew it. Yeah.
Celebrate together.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. You don't, not Michelle. Michelle will kill you, bro. You don't want that. You don't want to get. She was stabbed. She was stabbed. Jeff, before I get to your question, I gotta talk sports with my dude, Guy. Guy is a diehard Lakers fan. He swear I'm not a diehard Lakers fan, but he's a Laker fan. First of all, talk about LeBron hitting 40K. How was that for you? What did that mean for you?
Inevitable.
I mean, 40,000 points is 40,000 points, man. Whether the 3-point line is there when it wasn't there before, or it's more than just the 40,000 points. Really, it's a longevity of him playing well at 21 years in the game, to have your body hold up and to have the mental capacity to hold up. That's what's important to me. It's like, wow, you played this well for this long. No matter what you think about LeBron James, or your fan, not who's the GOAT, who's not the GOAT. This cat has learned from his predecessors, learned from Michael Jordan. He learned from Bill Russell. He learned from Kobe Bryant how to take care of your body, how to get the proper rest, how to eat your diet. I do that as a stand-up. We also do a stand-up. On certain days when I have shows, I only eat brain food, like blueberries, good for the brain, and salmon. To black people, it's salmon, but salmon is good for the brain. So you got to eat food. Leafy vegetables are good for your brain. So on show days, I try to eat well, but also just try to work out. I hate working out, but in order to have good shows, you got to feel good. In order to feel good, you got to take care of your instrument. Our instrument is our bodies. You got to drink the right things. I smoke cigars. That's not good. That's not healthy. But I balance it by taking herbs for the lungs and stuff like that. So with LeBron scoring 40,000 points, I mean, it's 40,000 points is great, but man, the fact that he's able to do that and he's still going, and still really got 2 or 3 more years left in him. So
in good shape.
And why you BSing? It's really like 23 years if you count him. He went to the finals 9 years in a row. You got how many extra games and the Olympics?
Yeah,
bro. Yeah, you got okay. So you're a Laker fan. Give me your top 5 Lakers.
Ooh.
My top 5 Lakers. First is Magic Johnson.
Amen.
Because he's the reason why I am a Laker fan. So Magic Johnson will always be my favorite Laker. Right, that's one. Okay. Next is going to be Kareem. Okay. Right, because Kareem was the all-time points, and Kareem played in a time where they had on booty shorts and playing in low-top tennis shoes. And my third is going to be Kobe. Kobe
Amen.
Bryant is third. Fourth, I'm saying it's going to be Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal. Of course, one of the most unstoppable big men in the game, period. And if he had taken his health a little bit more serious, or his exercise a little bit serious, he would be having over 40,000 points if he could score, if he could throw free throws and stayed in shape and wasn't injured as much as he was. And 5, this is probably going to surprise you, but I think I'm going to say, Derek Fisher.
Okay.
Because Derek Fisher was the glue that kept 2 different teams together. He kept Shaq and Kobe from killing each other.
Oh, right? Wow.
Derek Fisher was the glue, the silent glue. Now, he may sleep with your baby mama or your wife, but he kept that glue together amongst those teams. And then again, with Paul Gasol and Kobe, he held that team together. He was a silent glue that held those teams together. So I don't think he gets the credit that he should, because he was really a silent glue in that locker room and on that court and a general. So those are my top 5.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I'll take Derek out and I will put James Worthy. I'm a Tar Heel, so I would probably give James Worthy that 5th spot. And then, of course, I mean, he's only been there 4 years, but I give LeBron.
He's a beast. I love James Worthy. He was a man. Yeah. We wouldn't have won some of them championships hadn't been for James Worthy. Now he did throw a couple of passes. Bad passes a couple of times, but what he contributed to the Lakers was like priceless.
Yes. So it's always funny, man. I love talking to fans of basketball, because when you go to anytime you see a video of LeBron, it's always hate in it. The comments are it's always hate, and he's such a good guy. Like, you don't hear anything bad about him. He ain't got, as far as I know, a bunch of baby mamas. He ain't in no trouble. But it's like people hate him for some reason.
I think Kobe said the line. Kobe said it the best. Kobe said, "You only hate the best people in the game."
Right. I mean, I had to hate on LeBron for no apparent reason. My hate on LeBron was only because they always compared him to Kobe. When they were playing against each other, and Kobe was my guy. Same thing with Michael Jordan. I didn't like Michael Jordan because they always compared him to Magic, and because Magic was my guy. But both guys are, Jordan and both LeBron are top 5 to the greatest players in the history of the NBA. Period.
Whoever done it.
Down. Whether I like them or not, I mean, man, it was a basketball purist, which I am. I'm a basketball fan first, Laker fan second, and I'm a Clipper fan 5 millionth. I don't care if my mama played for the Clippers. I ain't rooting for them.
You ain't doing it. You ain't doing it.
I hope she did a triple-double. But and this season is tough because, you know, not being a Clipper fan, but being friends with Tyronn Lue and Larry Drew and Brian Shaw, who are assistant coaches. I would love to see them three brothers win a championship.
That'd be nice.
And I'll give up my Clipper hate if they make it to the finals. I'll root for the Clippers because of those three brothers.
There you go. Love
Everybody listen, we got Torry this weekend, March 8th and 9th at the Orlando Funny Bone. OrlandoFunnyBone.com. Go get your tickets. Jeff, you said you had something?
Yeah, I got one. I grew up on Richard Pryor albums and Red Fox albums and things like that. And these are guys, and people always ask me who my favorite comedians were, who I think my top three is. And I don't want to say living because let's say top three comedians who left the planet. And I know a lot have inspired you. Who would you put in your top three who are no longer with us?
No longer with us, my comedy Mt Rushmore of comedians who are no longer with us. So that would be 4. Would be Richard Pryor.
Amen.
Would be Lenny Bruce.
Okay.
Would be they're no longer with us. Richard Pryor, Lenny Bruce, Mom's Mabley.
Okay.
She was about her business.
Yes, she was.
And I would have to say, George Carlin.
I was gonna say, yeah, no Carlin. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about the 4 who are still here?
That's a loaded question for him because he know all of them.
Dylan.
He know all the
I asked him the question that wouldn't get him in any trouble.
Yeah, man. He know. He got to see these
Dylan.
Yo, speaking of that, we asked who did we just have on? Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
What you feel about cancel culture?
I think it sucks. And I've always said that. I think cancel culture is people who want to cancel somebody who are miserable with their own lives, and they're not walking in their purpose. They're not working in the gift that God gave them. And they're bitter because those who are thriving and working in the industry and the gift that God gave them, I think it's hater culture. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You can say what you want to say. I think cancel culture is some bull crap because if someone who been working in their craft for years and you like what they've said, you enjoyed their art for years, and they've been a person that gave back to the community with charity events or giving money to whatever, and to cancel them out for something that they said, misstepped, or said. Now, if they're doing something illegal, if they're pedophiles and they're sexually abusing people, that's a different story. I'm not talking about that. There's somebody who we all misspeak. None of us are freaking perfect. And yeah, you can unfollow them if you want, but try to take the whole career away from them, the families they feed, the people who eat off of them. A lot of us as entertainers have staffs. A lot of us have people who eat off of what we do. And you cancel somebody for what I may have said that may misconstrued or something that you didn't like. And now you want to ruin all those families, all those people who eat off of, the projects I created, the documentaries, the comedy shows, the TV shows, the radio shows, the podcast. It's selfish. And it's like, yeah, you can maybe hate somebody what they said, and especially if they come back and ask for forgiveness. None of us are perfect. People act like they're effing perfect, and they're not. So cancel culture is a bunch of bull-ish. Because
Torry this weekend. Guy, we got about 3 minutes. Another thing I want to run by you, man. I'm looking at your Wikipedia. You've been in some classics. Life, American History X. You were a showrunner on Martin. You wrote
writer. Let's not
writer on Martin. My bad.
Not go Club Shay and have me. There's a line. I was a writer. I wrote on Martin.
To America, you wrote the greatest episode of Martin, Gilligan's Island.
In your opinion, yes.
I'm just look it up.
It's his favorite. Yeah,
favorite. Why aren't you doing TV and movies like you used to?
I'm starting back to. I'm getting back into it since the documentary. A lot of projects coming, and it just takes time. I mean, I was so busy really trying to focus on the stand-up and being that guy, doing the arenas by myself on my dime, not because I'm associate with anybody else. And so I let the TV, you know, and the film and go a little bit to focus on the stand-up. But now it's like, maybe that's when God done had me there. Maybe he has me. I think I figured out, you know, I even stopped acting for a bit, and I miss it. But after doing the documentary Fat Tuesdays, I mean, I can do more for comedians, and specifically Black comedians, by telling our stories, by being a filmmaker and a creator and a producer. Being an actor, you're doing somebody else's work, which is great because I love that craft as well. But if I can give back, and my gift, I'm a connector and I'm a giver, and that's the gift that God gave me, and that's my purpose. I can do more by being a filmmaker. Acting, it taught me the game. It taught me the business. Being a production assistant and a writer, it taught me the game. It taught me the business. Now I can go out and start creating my own projects and help more people that way. Tell more of our stories. First of all, comedian stories don't get told enough. And then Black stories don't get told enough. So that's where I'm going to focus on, is telling our stories.
There you go.
Hey, man, God, we appreciate you, man, kicking it with us, bro. Thank you so much.
This weekend,
this weekend, March 8th through 9th, got Torry at the Orlando Funny Bone, OrlandoFunnyBone.com. Also, make sure you go out to Prime Video and go check out the Fat Tuesday documentary. God, tell them where they can find you at, and drop your last gem on us.
The documentary is also on Freeview, which is owned by Amazon as well. So if you're on Amazon Prime, go to Freeview and watch it. I want to apologize earlier for all the swear words and all the beeps you heard earlier in this show. I was unaware that it was, you know, a family show. And also with Jeff, all the action figures behind you, those are characteristics of a pedophile.
Hey, we gotta get up out of here. Just so you know, God, Jeff is actually a world-renowned comic book writer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And you know what? The guy who directed my documentary, Reggie Hudlin, also is a great comic book writer. He wrote Black Panther comic book series before even the movie. So Reggie Hudlin is a beast with everything, from TV to film to documentaries to live to comedy specials and to comic books. I mean, so Jeff, you're a special guy, man. That's a different art form that I always admire.
It's a different animal. It's a different animal.
We gotta get up out of here, man. We gotta get up out of here. We gotta go. That's God Torry this weekend, March 8th and 9th. Check him out. James John, Jeff Kaufman. James, tell him what to do.
Take your ass to bed.